Hey everyone, welcome to FMA Talk Live. Sorry, the camera's there. I'm your host, Datu Tim, and this is my phenomenal co-host.
Peachy Taz here. Welcome, everyone.
Yeah, he gave me money to say that, by the way. Upgraded him from awesome to phenomenal. Phenomenal one. So we got a good guest tonight. We got a good show. And we'll bring him on shortly, but I just want to go over a couple things here. You know, how's things on your end?
Pretty good. Busy. It seems like everybody's got that.
This weekend you're going to go see somebody, right?
This weekend. Oh yeah, some young guy with the bald head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is that you?
Oh, our friend GM Bobby.
GM Bobby is going to be in the DC area. So if anyone's down that way, I highly advise attending that workshop. Mr. Hiltz, thank you for chiming in from Canada. I'm about to we're going to be doing a video, not today, probably in the next couple shows. My after I do Maine, my plate collection, my license plate collection, because I've got in my garage, I've got a license plate from every state that I've taught in, and beginning to get all of my countries down. So state-wise, I've done 28, soon to be 29 states, and 17 countries. Hey, Aaron, how we doing? Now, to put things in a better perspective, if we're comparing that to the Europeans, my 29 states are really like 29 countries, because most of the U.S. states are bigger than most of the European countries. But you know, hey, Renee, how you doing? Yo, I gotta check something here while I'm talking to you, because I think I gotta see something here. But you know, so that's the nice thing. I've been working a lot of stuff. You'll see the school shortly. You'll notice the improvements we've done. You know, I'm looking forward at the end of the year to show the overhaul. I've been taking photos left and right of different things, and trying to get the school, the house, everything in a new circumstance. Now, right now, I am in a new studio. So this is FMA Talk Studios version 3.0 or 4.0. I've done a bunch of things. We started in the school, three different studios, or three different locations in my school. Then we moved into the house, and then now I've got the new room that we're doing. I'm gonna have to do something about lighting. It's not all done here. I'm gonna try putting the lights down a little later in the show.
Nice.
You know, and then hello, Mr. Bernard. Where are you from, Bernard?
He's nearby. He's a friend of Terrell's and mine.
Oh, very good. Very good. Okay, so
As is Aaron.
So
Good stuff.
Trying to decide whether I have a rant or not. I mean, all the shows as of late have been slight rant. But I think a thing that I've been really, we talked about this today. I was talking to a future guest, or a repeat guest, Mr. Lauren Therian. We're talking about a couple things. Oh, hey, there we go. Look at this. Miss Medellin, and from the Philippines, and Maria Aquino, which is from Ontario. By the way, Maria, I will be up there the week. Well, we're doing the Taste of Manila, so I'm actually coming up Friday. After all, I got a meeting I got to do earlier, but I'll be up there. And look, all the way from the Philippines, Billy Joel, no relation to Billy Joel. All right, and then we've got Bobby Lodge. Bobby. I love Bobby.
Mabuti naman, at ikaw.
And we got Tears in the side of it. Come here, Tear.
Tear saying hi.
I'm giving him a mushroom. Not a magic one. That's a different mushroom. That'd be irresponsible. So hey, no rant, but I'm gonna put this up. And let me just get to my Facebook profile, because it's going to be about our brother here, Tuan Bobby. So let me just Hey, Bobby, does this look familiar? Let me just get into my screen here. Boom. There he is. Right here, Bobby Ladra. But back then it was Guru Bobby Ladra.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a whole bunch of things. There's Bo Sayak, Carl Minkel, Fred Ocampo, myself, Remy. I think that's Dwayne Rainier from will you get over here? From Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Hmm.
We got a whole bunch of people here. Nice throwback photo.
What year is that?
This would have been 99 Mount Airy. Oh, here we go. And he goes, wow, Mount Airy, Maryland. Carl Minkel hosted Remy. This would have been the first time, if I'm not mistaken. So that'd be 99. I got some more pictures from that. I'll have to dig them out. And Bobby, if you do, I'm going to tell you, Bobby's got a cool. Oh my God, do you hear Tier?
Yep.
Yeah, driving me crazy. Come here, Tier. He's got a cool, very cool heirloom that Remy heirloom that if he ever decides to get rid of, I want it.
There you go.
And he said 1999. So, and hello, Carl from Canada, and yeah, 1999. So here's the deal. Century Martial Arts used to make the black weapon bag. They had two sizes, the basic one and the extra large. Remy signed his, and then he took a silver marker and went over top of it so you can see it. Last time I was actually just before, what was it? The FMA convention that him and his brother put on together in Maryland. I went to, and that was Remy Jr., Bobby, and Leo Gahe.
Okay.
And he pulls out hey Tim, you got to check this out. I'm like, dude, that's so awesome. And I'm like, and they're all surprised. They're like, I can't believe that you're brave. What do you mean? Well, I got into it to Remy Jr. because he made some comments about you basically had to be family or you couldn't do the art, which was ridiculous. And then the other comment was I was running FMA Talk discussion group, and I unfortunately had to take Grand Tuhan off of the discussion group because he wasn't following the rules. And I'm like, I can't believe this. You're hanging out with these guys. I'm like, it was just the internet. It was just a discussion group. It's not a big deal. And here's in the meantime, here Leo and I are giving each other hugs and joking around with each other and comparing our sunglasses, what you like, and all this other stuff. I'm like, dude, he's just a man. He doesn't get that twisted.
Yep.
He's passionate, gets caught up in something, but then it's over and done with. Don't worry about it. So, I got nothing if you got nothing.
I got nothing.
Okay, so let's get on with our show. So today, look at this. Rams G.
More DOS, folks. Very good.
More DOS. So that's why we have all these DOS people, because we have with us. Here we go. I'm prepared. Here we go. Grandmaster, Guru, Sensei, Master, Doctor. I'm thinking if there's anything else. Terryl Richardson. Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Now, part of that's an inside joke, and we're going to talk about that right away. So, Terrell's got a whole bunch of titles because he's done martial arts. Sir, how long have you done martial arts?
50 years now.
50 years now. Okay, half a century. So over time, he's done multiple arts. He's got different titles from different systems. He's ranked as a grandmaster in what, sir?
Tang Sudo and Hapkido.
There you go. And then, and he's a guru in Das, which is why he's on the show. He's done other things. You are a level 6
in Balintawak.
In Bobby Tabata's branch of the Balintawak. You can
7th degree in Sunuku's Ryu Jiu-Jitsu. 7th in Taekwondo. I box for the U.S. Army.
And he has a doctorate, not in martial arts, because that was one of our shows. He actually has a doctorate.
Yes. Now,
this is a tie-in. Terryl and I have talked about this, and he's made some comments on his Facebook page, so I don't mind talking about it. He's not for people using you don't believe that there's doctorates in martial arts, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That being said, there is someone that in Buffalo that we always called in this, Dr. Jerome Barber, who was a doctor. It was for the education side, not a medical.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Randy Shea in Modern Arnis. He was a doctor. He was a medical doctor. So he used his professional title in his martial arts, and I've got no problem with that. But because if you ask them, they would be upfront where their doctorate comes from.
Right.
Yeah. And now some of these Hall of Flames or Fames or whatever are these are gifting these things, or basically they go through a vetting process, which most of the time that means the check cleared. But some Soki types things and all this other nonsense.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, and you notice I didn't mention any one organization in any of that, and I'm not calling any out because there's some good organizations out there doing it for the right reason. But martial arts. Okay, I'm going to do something about my dog right now. So I'm going to turn this over to you, Ty, while I take care of Tier.
Well, actually, let's continue on with what Datu was asking about. What you consider whatnot. You said on the jiu-jitsu though, is Sanuka's-ryu or
Sanuka's-ryu? Yes,
that's what I thought. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Yeah. But no, so actually, since we're have that connection, what was your PhD in? I forget again.
What was that?
Your PhD?
Eastern philosophy.
Eastern philosophy. Okay.
Which never got me really real money. My real money came from being a network engineer.
Yep. Well, it's like me, my nuclear chemistry, right? So now I do oversight type stuff. So there you go. Yep. Well, that and $3 will get you whatever $3 will get you, right?
A good cup of coffee from Starbucks.
There you go. Well, I don't know. I'm anti-coffee, so I'm the wrong person to talk to. I was going to ask if Starbucks has good coffee because I know some people have strong feelings about that. Well, that'll be the first softball question for you. So you like Starbucks coffee?
Yes.
All right. Good. There you go.
Now, I'll tell you what will put hair on your chest if you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
I got some coffee from Batangas.
Yes, I saw you posting some of that stuff. Now, did you try Balut?
I sure did.
How'd you like it?
It wasn't bad.
Okay.
It wasn't bad. I chased it down with a San Miguel beer.
There you go.
So yeah. But thanks to Billy, Billy took care of me. She made sure it wasn't too young. It was old enough for me to tolerate.
I can get some crunchy bits.
Yeah, crunchy bits, exactly.
Right, good. So not the smooth peanut butter, it's the crunchy.
You should have had it with
Right.
Red Horse because there's a shot of whiskey in there.
I've actually had one of those as well.
Anti-coffee. What about whiskey and Batangas coffee?
There you go. Yep.
Okay, so
I was trying to finish the question you were asking, but then I didn't know where you're going, so we talked about
I
other
was
stuff.
just asking stuff in general because we were talking. I was busting his chops. We did a test show yesterday, so I've got a test thing that stays off the air that no one gets to see, so people can get a shot going through using the software and stuff like that. And I told them, well, when we were picking the show, I was putting Grandmaster and Terrell in from DOS. Now, not suggesting he was a Grandmaster in DOS, and we talked about it. And how does GM address you?
It's GM/DOS Guru.
So that's how GM Riddell addresses you.
That's how I am titled. Yes.
So,
and for the most part, when he's just speaking to me directly, it's just GM.
And listen, okay, you know how I am. I mean, you've been to a bunch of the seminars I've taught at, and I'll stand up and go, "Hi, my name's Tim Hartman. I'm from Buffalo, and I do stick." And I just let my actions speak. Sometimes I'll give the shtick, say, "This is who I am. This is what I work." Boom, boom, boom. Other times it's like, "Okay, let's go and giddy up and go." It depends on the environment,
right?
And you're not a guy that gets caught up in titles. But when people are using formal titles, we want to make sure that we get it right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always Datu Tim, no matter. And if I teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, okay, I'm still going to be Datu Tim. That's
correct. Correct.
you go with your lead title. And if,
True.
let's say, I mean, Guru Dan is always Guru Dan, no matter what he's teaching.
Mm-hmm.
It could have easily be GM Dan Anderson.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
Inasano. So, whatever. So, all right. So let's get into the show. Let's get into what we're talking about.
Okay.
So, I'm going to start off ready, bang, go. How did you get into DOS? Because it's not a very popular. First of all, for those who don't know, I'll break it down, and you can correct me if you got any information that I don't have. First of all, the founder of DOS is Riddell Dagooc. Dagooc Arnis Systems, DOS. Riddell Dagooc, in my opinion, he is my favorite modernist person in the States, or in Canada, in the Philippines. The guys that train directly with Remy. He's the oldest living student of Remy. Even though he has his own fingerprint on things, you can see the modernist in what he does, and you can see where he took it in a different direction. It's his personal expression, and seeing that it moved that far away from the original, it differed enough where it merited to be called a different name. It's a derivative of modernist, but he made it his own, because Remy left the Philippines around 74, 75, and as we've talked on the show many times, all the people over there were doing modern Arnis from a certain era. But if they tried, and we talked about this yesterday, if they tried to pass a modern Arnis curriculum test in 2000, curriculum, not competency, they wouldn't be able to pass it. Just like if they wrote a test from the 70s and us modern Arnis people tried to take the 70s test, we probably couldn't pass that either, because it was a different program at the time. And you notice I didn't say one was better than the other. I said that times have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, what was Lotus a language in computer talk, you guys? At one time,
it was at one time.
At one time. So if you had access to a system on Lotus, how many people would be able to work on it?
Very true. Very few.
It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just that we've evolved so much.
Right.
I remember it was the movie Space Cowboys, where Clint Eastwood goes in space, and the modern astronauts are trying to fix something that is from like 50 years prior.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't get it. I go, because you didn't grow up in that era. That's why you don't know it. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, it's a different technology. And I would look at earlier versions of our art as a different technology, not a bad technology, just different. So would you say that's a pretty accurate thing, where the lineage, or came from modern? GM Riddell put his own spin on things and evolved in a different direction.
Absolutely. And he actually basically told me that out of his own mouth when I was over there in the Philippines. He said he would never say that he's not modern Arnis. He just took what his teacher gave him and added some of his own flavor to it to develop DOS. But he would never throw modern Arnis away and say that he just did it his way. No, he took modern Arnis, and he still is modern Arnis. He'll tell you, I'm still modern Arnis, but I have my own system that I teach. So yeah.
So let's nail it right here. How did you get first exposed to DOS?
It was 2018. Grandmaster Odell came up to Pennsylvania to Professor Jeff's place. He did a seminar there. I was a heavy Dagooc, and he was doing a great seminar. And like most people, when you see somebody teaching and they all scattered to go and practice the technique that he's teaching, I'm actually standing there looking at the technique. And Grandmaster Odell looks at me and says, "You have it?" I said, "Yes, sir. But can you do it to me?" So he did it to me, and I countered it. And he thought it was great. Laughed. He said, "Oh, okay. You do that, I'll do this." So we went back and forth with counters until I ran out of counters. And then he said, "Get out of it." I said, "I can't." So he was so polite that he showed me how to get out of the counter that he put me in. And that's when I said, wow, I said, I gotta get involved in this system. I really do. And that's how I got into it.
Nice.
Cool. So, Ty?
Well, I wanted to go back even further. I think so. You've done some Balintawak, you've done all these other arts and stuff too. But I think you've been exposed to some other Arnis as well along the way, right? So what kind of was leading up with your exposure through? They ended up Balintawak, but even before that.
A gentleman named Chuck Jeffries and Anthony Graham. These guys actually learned Arnis or Esprima from what they call it Kali. They actually got it from Guru Dan Santos. They started showing me some of that. And I said, okay. And then what I was noticing was what they was showing me. I was like, well, wait a minute. This looks very familiar to what we do in Snooker's Rule Jiu-Jitsu, some of the locks. Well, if you know about Snooker's Rule Jiu-Jitsu, you know the lineage goes from Moses Powell to Grand Professor V or Viziation, and he was a Filipino, and he also got training from Leo Gahi as well as Remy Pracer Sr. So it kind of went into a circle, more or less. So yeah, that's how I kind of got my introduction into it. And then when Jeff Ramsey had an event in Pennsylvania, it was called the Four Horsemen. Remember that, Tim? It was Tim, Bobby Tribota, Max Palin, and it was someone else, Tim. I can't remember.
Michael Huron. So that was the Legends of FMA tour.
Yes. And that's when I saw Bobby and I saw Tim. And I was kind of like trying to figure out which one that I want to actually get with to learn from. Yeah. And you know Bobby. Bobby is flash and it's Bobby. So I'm like, wow, power, speed. I'm like, I got to get with that. So that's how I got in touch with Grandmaster Bobby, and then I ended up coming to Lick the Walk, and the rest is history, as they say.
Was that was about a year before I saw you at Bobby's camp in North Carolina, right? Or 2 years, somewhere in there.
That was maybe about a year or 2 years before you saw me. Yeah.
And was that, I can't remember now because we were doing stuff around here, but I'm not sure if we met here or if we met over there.
I think we met at Bobby's World Camp back in 2013 or 2014.
Sounds right. But it was funny because I know we hit it off right away. It was like, we've known each other for a while. So that's why I couldn't remember where we met because it was just too natural.
Right.
See,
that's how I pretty much got into it. And, I've always been the kind of person, and some people ask me, well, how do you have all these different black belts? Well, first
50
of all,
years of training.
First of all, you have to have a solid foundation. And secondly, Tim said it. You get off your ass and you train.
That's right.
Okay, it's just that simple.
Well, let's go there for a second. So, some people, when you have a lot of black belts and things, people can either assume one of two things. And usually it's the one where hey, this guy's collecting rank. Now, you don't make a big deal about rank. In fact, I've known you as Terrell since forever. And it's always been that way. But so what would you say to those people? If I'm going to ask not a hardball question, but that is a question that people want to ask. Wait a second, why are you collecting all these ranks? I would venture to say it's not collecting. So what would you describe it as?
It's not collecting. What I'm doing, one thing about me, Brother Ty, I've always been the kind of person, I look for weaknesses in the system that I'm training in. Not so much the strength, because the strength is what brought me there. The weaknesses is what I'm looking for. I started off in boxing, and then I tell people I accidentally got into wushu, or they called it kung fu at the time. And I was like, I was doing Tenshin Pai, and then everyone always say, well, the Koreans got the best kicks. So I said, well, I'm gonna have to go and learn some of these damn good kicks. So I got into Taekwondo. And then one day I said, what happens if somebody get close enough and grab me and try to joint lock me and throw me around? Can I handle that? Let me go study Hapkido. So I ended up going up to Canada, training with Grandmaster Serge Babil, and getting my rank in Hapkido and Jiu-Jitsu and, like that. That was it.
So these are things that happen along the way on your journey. The journey is the most important part for you.
Yes, and I'm glad you said journey, because I went over there to the Philippines. As you guys know, I was over there just 2 months ago. And I actually did a documentary, and it's called My Journey to DAS.
Okay.
It's my journey to DAS, but it also covers the 50 years of my growth through the martial arts. And it talks about how I got from A to Z. And I will say this, and I can't speak for every FMA system out there because I haven't studied every last one of them. But what I really loved about DAS was, and I told Grandmaster Rodell this, and I told him, I said, Grandmaster, with all due respect, I don't need DAS. I want DAS. Because what he was giving, I already had. He gave me his system, but his system had everything that I had already trained in over the years: the boxing, the Wing Chun, and the joint locks, the throws, So it was like, I got this. So now he took me and said, I'm going to take what you got, and I'm going to show you how it works in our system. Perfect.
Okay, so I'm just doing a little flashback here because I did a little research while I was here. This is for our brother Bobby. Bobby Lodger there. Hey, Bobby. Here, and Craig from Canada says hello. Terrell, you met Craig
Yes, I have.
Yeah, there you go. So here's another. I got two photos. Here's one. There's look how young Bobby is there.
Nice.
And then I just sent it to Bobby via Facebook Messenger, by the way. And then I'm going to do another one, and then we'll get into this because when someone says, "Oh wow, I don't see a photo like that," when I know I've got it, I gotta do something about it. Let me see. Here we go. And then here is another one, and you'll see a young me in there, all the way to the right, with darker hair, pre-ink, skinny. And there's
Tim. Please tell me you didn't have a mullet.
Not in that photo. There's video of me with a mullet and a goatee. That's when I used to wear the belt on the side until I started break falling a lot, and then it hurt. And then okay, so that's that. Stop sharing, and of course Bobby says cool with a K. And then thumbs up from Mindy. Hey Mindy, how you doing? Haven't seen Mindy in a while. Okay, so you decide that you're going to embrace DAS as your program. So we can go so many different directions. You went to the Philippines, had a blast there. And before your trip, we had talked, and I gave you some recommendations on places to go. And
yes, you did.
And have these, and it was more than just the martial arts.
Yeah.
And we were actually talking. I mean, I called you up and say, "Hey, I heard the trip is a different time. Are you going to be over at this time? Because this is when I'm planning on going." And that wasn't the case.
Right.
Which is why I made sure. And then GM Rodell made sure that you had people with you because you were there in your first Philippines trip.
Yeah.
Flying solo completely, which is a little rough.
But thank God for my sweetheart Billy. She took good care of me. And look, Tim, I took your advice. You said let her do all the bargaining and she did.
All right, so all of you non-Pinoys, when you go to the Philippines, you need to find a girlfriend. That doesn't mean hook up with somebody. What I'm saying is you need to find a Pinay, a Filipino woman, that will act as an interpreter for you and pretend to be your girlfriend because the rates drop significantly. And he goes, I'm good, training a lot. That's great, Mindy. Cool. So we have a bunch of girls that hang out with us. One of our drivers, it's a husband and wife team. So the wife will hang out with us and, and there's things. And one thing I always do is I'll walk up when I'm by myself and they'll go, oh, sir. It could be 8:00 at night. I go, first customer of the day discount. And that's the joke because they all tell you when you're in the marketplace, I'll give you the first customer of the day discount. So 8:00 at night, they'll just like, oh, you know the deal. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I go, no, not petit Pinoy. And I'm like, come on, give me the Pinoy price. And, and haggle is part of it when you're in the marketplace. But there's plenty of stores where there's no haggling.
Right.
Matter of fact, the stores, you don't haggle. But some of the malls, they'll have that little marketplace area. They can do that as well. So you had a blast. You were on the back of you were on a tricycle, which is about like a 125cc motorbike with a sidecar with about 15 people on it. You were in the Jeepneys, which is a knockoff of a Jeep with no exhaust system, or no emissions, I should say.
And, speaking about the Jeepney, I rode it twice.
That's twice too often.
No one told me that it was going to be so short. So I get on and I'm like,
Philippines.
Yeah. So I get on it and the driver, I had to pay pay the price for two because they was like, well, he's taking up more room.
Oh, someone was scamming you because they've never done that to us.
I know. And look, when he said that, I saw a guy get on, a Filipino get on that was 3 times my size. I'm like, okay, yeah, right. So yeah, the Jeepney was something, and then the tuk-tuk was nice. And that look, what did you want to? Is that the tuk-tuk with the little bicycle and the sidecar? Is that it?
That's the tricycle.
The tricycle. Now the tricycle, I'm ashamed to say, I got stuck in it. It was so, it was so small. I got stuck in it. So Billy actually had to push me out of it because it was just tight, But yeah, I enjoyed the whole experience. And the Das family over there, I tell you, Tim, they're beautiful people. Beautiful people.
I've been going since 2007. And they by far are the friendliest group over there to me. Not to say that the others aren't, but I met GM Rodell when he was on tour with the Price's family in the States. And I had a trainer. So I had these, I don't have it with me. I have these aluminum trainers that I had made up. Remy had brought these aluminum Kamagon ones back. It's got the swept blade with the finger grooves cut into it.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a guy, Jason Arnold, him and his cousin, which is Joe Arnold, which is a knife maker that used to do a lot of finishing work for Gil Hibben, who made the Terminator knife, the Rambo knives, and all that other stuff. They made an aluminum trainer with a nice Marcata handle. They got rid of the grooves, which it really needed to because those finger grooves never really lined up well. So I had one of the trainers with me. I gave it to Rodell. And then when I went in 2007, I went to Ernesto's camp, and I went back to Manila by myself. And I'm tooling around. I find where Rodell's. Now, this is 2007. There wasn't a lot of non-Pinoys there. Later it became a little more mixed. So I'm walking up trying to be like, incognito. Like, okay, I'm almost 6 foot tall in a sea of people that are like 5'5". And, well, you see this complexion. I only have 2 colors, white or red. Without color, and then lobster because of it in the sun too much. So I walk up, I try to, all of a sudden Rodell looks at me, he looks, damn! And then he's like, oh, and he pulls out the dagger that I gave him as a gift, and and, ever since then, it's just been, constant. He's usually the first person and the last person we see before we go home. Now we go other places, so he's not always the first, but he knows we're there because I'll reach out to Seidel, his daughter. Hey, we're going to be here. I need X, Y, and Z gear while we're here. Blah, blah, blah. I'll see you at the training, And sometimes we'll go to Batangas and we'll go to Arnis Village. Arnis Village 2.0 and then or we'll just catch him in the park. So you were at Arnis Village, right?
Yes.
Okay. So everyone knows there was two Arnis villages. There was one which was an outdoor training facility. I had a hut, but it was an obstacle course.
Right.
It was a terrible obstacle course. Like it would kill you obstacle course. And I did the course in 15 minutes, and I'm talking to one American who was there, which every time we go, he's there. I don't know how he's doing it. And we're talking. I'm like, I'm almost blacking out from this damn course. My kidneys are killing me. And finally, I get through the whole course. Like, they give me gallons of water, and I like, dude, like, how long does it usually take to do this course? 3 hours. What? I mean, I'm like, but it was a cool environment, but there was a guy who was a backer. Things didn't work out. You can see where it was. I'm not sure if they built anything on the site. Then now what Riddell did, for those who have not been, if you've been to 1.0, but you haven't been to 2.0, 2.0 is now done on his property. It's part of his rattan making facility.
Yes.
So it acts also as a storage facility. I don't know. I mean, does he have a lot of training going on there all the time, or is it more the rattan and the weapons supply sales?
He actually has a lot of different groups coming over from different countries training there. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just fortunate enough to train with him, by myself. It was just he and his son Guro Gretchen, and we were just training. So it was a kind of a blessing to be able to train with him just like that one-on-one. So yeah, it was great.
Now, you stayed in the apartment that he has, or the room that he has set up there?
No.
Okay. So I know he's got a guest area for people from out of town.
Yeah. He has some rooms upstairs where the people can actually stay at. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like visiting there, and then I like going back to our hotel.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I need time to be me. I need time away from everybody. I need to do my thing, and it's nice to be able to decompress.
Yes.
I had some people over for like 11 or so days at my house, and some people, that was Ty. Actually, that's normally Ty's stay. Like, hey, when's camp start? It starts on Friday. So I'm showing up Monday. Okay, which week? and Ty will be there he'll easily stay a week's worth of time. But there was like 4 of us for 11 days.
Okay.
Like, I do want a little time to meet. So when we're in the Philippines, I make sure I have me time. I just like, guys, and the one time we were out and some stuff, I got sick of some stuff that was being said by some of the locals, and like, guys, I'm going out. Where are you going? I don't know where I'm going. I'm just going to get a Grab, which is their Uber, and I'm just going. Thanks for the logo, Ty.
Yeah, that came up, that logo I made years and years ago, but it came up again. So for some reason I had to answer a question, but now it's recirculating.
Wait, is that the one that you made a post on it earlier today or something?
Well, that was a repost because somebody had used it and modified it. But anyway.
Again?
Yep.
Knuckleheads.
I mean, use it all you want, just don't modify it. But anyway. So I was going to ask, so I know a lot of people here probably haven't seen Riddell and don't know what, if they wanted to do DOS or anything like that, where, I know you said that you met Riddell here, event in Pennsylvania. If people wanted to look more into it without, if they didn't want to go online, but they wanted to find opportunities, where would they go and who would they talk to? And for that matter, obviously you probably didn't show up there, never training it besides the seminars. So you must've had some other background there too. So I was wondering, did you go to him with, you went over there with some rank already in DOS or related art, or did the Balintawak stuff carry over, or how did that all work?
I didn't have any rank in DOS.
Okay.
I actually had a lot of the gurus over there who helped me, along with Professor Jeff Ramsey and Guru Brad up in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
You know, they would show me, okay, this is the DOS disarms. Well, a lot of those disarms, you can only do it. The disarms, basically, they was pretty much saying a lot of the disarms that I already knew.
Right. Well, I know that some of the ones that Bobby does are very similar to the ones that we do.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was as if something brand new.
Right.
So I just had to learn the DOS way, more or less.
Sure.
So very much like learning a language, you learn the language in your home country, and then you go to the native country to get the accent right.
Correct. It'd be like someone from America going over to Great Britain.
Done that. I lived there, and when I left, people assumed that I had an Australian accent because it blended when I was a kid. That's fixed now, obviously, I think.
So yeah, I mean, it was. I just basically took what the guru showed me, Professor Jeff showed me, and what I had already had from Lintawak and boxing, and all the other things. So basically, it wasn't as difficult because I was quite ready when I got over there.
That makes sense.
So it was more or less.
You learned the art over here in the States.
What's that again?
You learned the art over here in the States before you went to the Philippines.
Yeah. I learned.
Say that you didn't learn more when you got there, but you didn't go. Okay, you didn't go to the Philippines to learn DOS. You got exposed to it here in the States, and
right. I was exposed to it here, but I got there, and Grandmaster Rodell actually cleaned up some things, So
as you would when you study with the man himself, the head of the system, which man or woman.
Right.
Correct.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
How many DOS instructors are here in the States? Do you happen to know? I know 3, but that's all I know.
There is a total of 6 DOS gurus, but currently I only know of 2 that is teaching at this time, and that's Professor Jeff Ramsey, who is the USA DOS representative, and myself.
Okay. So you mentioned Guro Brad. Is that Nemec?
Yes.
Okay. And he's not teaching on his own right now?
He's up at Jeff's school, so he's basically Jeff is teaching. He's there more or less. Yeah.
I like Brad.
So he's an assistant there then.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many? So now this. Okay. So this opens up a couple doors of things that I generally talk about. I didn't realize I still have my headset on. So, all right, it's time for some tough questions.
All right.
No, because this goes back to our pride, roll up the sleeves. This goes back to our system just as much. Okay.
Right.
So let's ask this. Do you feel that the numbers of people doing, that's in New York City is coming. Okay.
All right, Bernard.
So how many people do you think practice DOS in the United States?
I mean, very few.
Do you think it is over or under 100 people?
It's under.
Do you think it's over or under 50 people?
Under.
Okay, so if you stop teaching, if Jeff stops teaching, if the gurus, so you got Jeff who's teaching.
Mm-hmm.
You've got you that's teaching.
Mm-hmm.
People that are teaching in Jeff's school, for all intents and purposes, don't count. Just like if any of my instructors, I've got black belts that teach in my school. They don't teach in my school. They help me run. They help me run here and there. Maybe they do a class for me here and there. But these aren't people who want their own place, because if they did, I would help them open up their own location to help spread the art and have the same thing I want.
Right.
So you've got so you got what, maybe 3 locations in the States?
2. Well,
okay.
3. That I think there's I believe they're teaching it over in Thurmont, Maryland.
Okay.
I don't know.
So let me ask the rough question here, because that's not even the rough question here. Here we go. So if that's all you got teaching the art, what do you think the future of the art is in the States? Now there's a question. Not trying to, but because we're talking about what do you think is going to go on in the States?
Okay. I'm gonna give it to you straight with no chaser. Okay.
And I know that's the way you like getting it, so I know you'll give it that way.
Exactly. The way I see it, and this is just my opinion, but where I stand and from what I see, it's almost on life support as we stand.
Okay. So, we talk about this all the time. This is the way I think. Little John is teaching in Thurmont.
John Little. Oh yeah.
And reason and I'm going to address that because the question was asked, how many gurus that's teaching?
Okay.
So that's why I said currently there's only 2.
So he's John Little's not a guru yet?
No, not yet. No.
Okay. Well, let me ask.
That's why I said I answered the question that way I asked it. And when we said
no, I get you.
Yeah.
Well, and we talked a little on things already, so let me ask you a more specific question, and then we're going to relate it to modern Arnis, and because FMA Talk, the core of what we do is modern. This is a related system. We're all family. And I love Riddell. He's my favorite guy over there. And there's Dean Franco.
Dean Franco.
Okay, so let me ask you this. How many... Okay. Here we go. I was the only standalone modern Arnis academy at the time of Remy's passing. From 87 and on, I'm the only guy that I know of that had a club dedicated specifically solely to the art of modern Arnis. I'm not the only one that trained modern as a standalone program. Ty was one of those people, but he also did other arts as well. Okay. But here's the question. How many of these programs or people treat DOS as a primary system or as a standalone program, or are they doing it as a secondary, tertiary, or even farther down the line system? Now, Terryl, I'm asking you a serious question, and I need you to tell the truth to our viewers and everyone out there who's watching here, because people don't necessarily like what this show says at times. We give our opinion, but we talk about verifiable facts. And the truth sucks at times, but it's the truth.
Correct.
And when I screw up, as much as I don't like it, I'll take the bullet for that. Now, here's the question. How many people out there, or how many programs, schools, training groups, whatever, are prioritizing, there we go, are prioritizing DOS as their primary system?
Here in America?
Yes. I have a number in my head. I've got my fingers ready to show you what my number is. Don't tell me whom. I think I know whom, but
I will say I can speak for myself. I teach DOS and only DOS. You can go to my website.
Okay.
DOS period.
That's my index finger. I only know of one person that teaches it a primary. It's not this one. It's this one. If I'm going to do that, I was like, this is the rattan, whatever. It was this finger came up. Okay, so to my knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
not busting chops,
Mm-hmm.
the U.S. rep is a jiu-jitsu person first and foremost.
Say that again.
The U.S. representative of DAS
Uh-huh.
is a jiu-jitsu player first and foremost.
I would say that's more of a question that you would have to ask him what his real passion is.
I didn't ask I'm not asking the passion, but
Mm-hmm.
isn't the jiu-jitsu program the primary program in his facility? Or has that changed since?
I think he has I want to say he tries to do them equally. You
Okay.
know, if he has his days for his DAS or modern Ranis, and if his jujitsu, it's jujitsu. So I don't know if he puts one above the other.
Wait, you
You
said modern
know,
Arnis?
well, yeah,
From where?
well, he got his modern Ranis from Remy Jr.
Oh, that's bullshit. That's DAS repackaged. He didn't train with his father. Not after he left the Philippines.
So why don't you enlighten me on that?
Okay, so Remy was a child when Junior was a child when Remy left the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is a problem when they have the same damn name. So Junior came over. He was around for like 20 years while Remy was alive.
Mm-hmm.
None of the kids trained with their father while he was in the States. So I went to here we go. Remy passes away. I was asked by Demetrio, the youngest son of the first family, because we have two sets of children. We have Rosemary. Is that mom's name? Rosemary
Yes.
Pracis,
Mm-hmm.
Mother Pracis, and then Yvette Wong, which is the Chinoys. There's the Pinoy family, and then the Chinoy family. All right. So the Pinoy family. Mary Ann was the oldest. Mary Jane was the oldest. Mary Jane is the oldest. Then it's Junior. Then it's Mary Ann. Then it's Demetrio, and then it's Maria. If I'm not mistaken, the eldest of the family is not Remy Jr. It's them. It's Mary Ann or Mary Jane. So by all accounts, they didn't train with their father after talking to Maria, the youngest, Daddy's little girl.
Mm-hmm.
They were told by their stepdad that Remy wanted nothing to do with him.
Okay.
Now, Maria told me that was not the case, but they didn't find out until it was too late. So when they came over to the States, they really had very little to do with Papa.
Mm-hmm.
So Janice and I flew to see Ernesto in Lake Tahoe. Okay, well, we did a seminar in Reno first. Then we flew back. We drove to our Hercules, which is where the Pracis family is. Well, the boys, they were in the Philippines training with Riddell Dagooc, shooting the videos, getting things going, and they came back and started this system. And they were not doing stuff that was what Remy taught. They were doing stuff that was a derivative of Remy taught.
Mm-hmm.
They were actually doing whatever their interpretation of what Riddell trained them to teach. Because, I mean, Riddell and I had this conversation.
So would it be fair to say that what Junior got was pre-DOS?
So I would say it was DOS before Riddell actually rebranded it. But okay, so here's the thing they say in Combatant. We've had this conversation with some people that insist that they learn modern Arnis. I'm like, but you didn't learn it from Remy. Where do you learn it from? Ernesto. Well, Ernesto started evolving the art after Remy left the Philippines. And in 2000, I think, is when he changed the name, or 99 or something, very late in the game. But his double stick program, his stick and dagger program, all that stuff dates back to the 80s. As a matter of fact, of the Tiger Claw videos, it has it on there. I'm not sure what the dates of those were. It was like late 80s he was doing his program underneath the Modern Arnis banner, but that was not the Modern Arnis material. It was his own material. You know, you take a Lamborghini and a Ferrari and switch logos, the cars don't change.
Correct.
You know, and here we go. 2 quality sports cars. Not saying a Yugo and a Corvette.
So you're saying that what Remy Jr. gave Professor Jeff wasn't Modern Arnis?
No, not at all. It now was a derivative. Okay, but so Remy Jr. is like my age.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Remy left in 74. So I was born in 65. So I would have been 9 years old. How much would he have learned at the age of 9-ish?
Very little. Very little.
So he was brought up by all of if he was doing training, which I don't know whether he did or didn't.
Mm-hmm.
He'd been brought up by the students, which would have been Modern Arnis from a different era and their own take on things. And as I see a lot of the Filipinos, they add their own creativity to things. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
They don't try to keep the tradition because it wasn't established. It's not like these Chinese systems. I mean, Ty, how far back do some of these Chinese systems date back to?
Hundreds, well, close to 1,000, some of them, yeah.
Okay, so, and there's this is ingrained culture. I mean, the thing, here we go. The Filipino culture was almost eradicated due to the Spaniards. And it was and the Philippines have been like the U.S. The United States has all been referred to as the cultural melting pot.
Correct.
So is the Philippines. How many different cultures and how much DNA is mixed in down there?
Absolutely. I had a conversation about that the other day.
Boom.
And I said, you know, it's funny. There's nobody really running around saying that I'm a true Pinoy, because some of them mixed with Japanese blood, Chinese blood, Spanish blood, you know, Korean blood, American Caucasian blood, and heavens to bed, black blood. God damn it, yes, I said it.
Okay. Okay. So Renee made a comment privately. Renee, it was crazy hair week at the school last week, and this is what's left of the temporary purple dye, which if you saw last week's show, it was a lot darker.
Yeah, I saw it.
Is not a filter. It is not a filter. You could have just messaged me right here. Oh, here we go. Negritos. Well, here, you look at hurry for Spanish. Hurry for Spanish blood. Okay. Listen, so I mean, you've got, first of all, the Philippines were over 7,000 islands.
Correct.
Who's to say it was all one people?
Right.
You know, we know the United States, okay, North America, this continent, how many different tribes were there?
Right.
Europe, how many? I mean, you know, you can say in some of the European countries, is there really a difference between being Polish, German, and Danish? I mean, culturally speaking, yes, but genetically, is there a genetic disposition from those 3 countries that border each other? You know, you look like a Himalayan salt shaker.
You got some Himalayan sea salt
oh,
chips.
You bastards. Wait, show that up here. Show that bag.
There you go.
Did you plan it to match my hair? You
I did not, no.
See, Terrell, this is the bullshit I have to deal with on a regular day-to-day basis. So, okay. What? I missed that one. I have no. Okay. You look like a Himalayan salt shaker. Okay, got that. Okay. Listen. So you don't have, because you have all this stuff going on, you don't have that. I was told, okay, Bong Hernelas, good friend of mine, was Datu number 3.
Mm-hmm.
I had his own system as well. Mm-hmm. What he told me, shut up, Chris. It's purple fading because it was crazy hair week. Didn't you get the memo? My God, you guys are all a bunch of idiots. Yeah, I think. Well, you know what? You're right. You know what? This is what I get It's my turn to get popped on. But you know what? I still know how to put a sword back in the scabbard, Chris. Okay, there you go. I'm going to go dirty there. I'm going to go real ugly on that. So, and he puts a little smiley face there. Probably. Okay. So, what Bong Hernellis told me was that reading and writing was made illegal by the Spaniards. Now, I don't know if this is accurate. So if I have this wrong, I'm being told by someone who was born and raised in the Philippines.
Mhm.
He said, well, listen, you know, what they allegedly they did is every region or island, they renamed everybody so the first letter of their last name started with a certain letter. So when I sit there and say, Terryl Richardson, what are you doing over here on Negros? You're supposed to be in Cebu, because it was a way to figure out, to track people when you didn't have papers.
Mm-hmm.
What they also said, no reading and writing. So what Bonga told me was they would take banana leaves and practice writing on that, and when the sun would hit it, it'd make the letters go away. So they could still, you know, once again, we know they hid their fighting in dance.
Yep.
Just like Capoeira did.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're an oppressed people, it wouldn't surprise me if these things that are being told are actually that are facts versus hearsay. But I wasn't there, so I don't know. So when I say this, I want to make sure I put that out there that everyone knows that I'm not saying this. This is my source. So if it's wrong, please, by all means, correct me. I need the right information, you know. So, but getting back to it, Rodell was the one that prepared the kids to go on tour. Okay, question for Terrell. Do you have crazy hair day? You suck. Well, look at his hair. That is crazy hair day. No.
If you call the gray salt and pepper look, yes.
Yeah. Well, it depends. It's crazy hair day if it's an early morning class for some of these guys.
Right.
So, I gotta just say from the bottom of my heart, you guys all suck. But I'll take it. It's my turn. It's my turn to take it. I'll give it back later. So I spent the night at the Price's family, What about Tim? What do you mean? What about Tim? This is my hair. So unless what about Tim something else? So if it is, ask a little different. But hair today, gone tomorrow. See, and that's it. He doesn't have this lovely lush silver locks. He's got chromis adomus. So you know, there you go. He's jealous. See, Terrell, we got our hair still. We can, you know. His skull look. We already. Man, have you not been following what's going on here?
He might be distracted.
Okay, all right.
So going back to your original question, as far as in America, is anyone teaching just DOS only? I would say I know that I'm teaching DOS and only DOS. Professor Jeff, he has a plethora of other things that he's teaching along with DOS.
Okay.
And I know that John Little is teaching other things as well.
Well, now let's make sure we're accurate on this. Now, a school offering multiple things is different than blending the art. Are you saying that he has different tracks, or are you saying that this is a blended program? And of course, if he's watching, by all means, chime in. We'd love to hear from you.
Well, what I say is that he has different programs.
Okay. So I mean, because like I teach Praesis Arnis.
Mm-hmm.
That is a family Praesis program. But when people come to me to train specifically modern Arnis, I take all the extras out. When I'm doing Combatant, I take all the so I think Remy's art and Ernesto's art blend well. They're not only are they compatible, but they're actually complementary. But I am not going to teach Ernesto's material underneath Remy's banner, and vice versa. That's why I do Praesis, because I'll do the blend, the family blend with other stuff. But when I'm asked to show modern, Balintois, Combatant, fill in the blanks, I can take that material out. And I actually have written curriculums so people understand where everything comes from and where it belongs. So if Jeff is doing, if anybody is doing, if the school offers different programs and they're separate, here, cheers to that. And even if they're doing the art within your art where it's all blended, just be upfront to say that, okay, this is not a standalone program. This is a karate jiu-jitsu program, or this is a taekwondo kung fu program, or that was a real mix weird. I mean, how would you put taekwondo and kung fu together? I mean, you need super glue for that shit. But doing all this stuff you put together, if I'm doing a hybrid versus a standalone, we need to be honest with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, how did modern get so widespread in America?
Okay,
because I'm trying to figure out how is that going to be done far as DOS here in America.
Okay. So first of all, it's not going to happen. DOS will not survive on its current trajectory, in my opinion, because you don't have a gene pool. I mean, the first thing you need to do is a gene pool. So what I would suggest, so I would say how Remy did it is he taught this art within your art mindset, showing you how to enhance your primary system with modern Arnis without compromising the integrity of that base system. Here's an example. If Remy was to open up a school in your area, he becomes your competition. But if he goes to 3 other schools in the area and tells them how they can enhance what they're doing and offer more to what they have and have upgrade programs and all this other stuff and more curriculum on the top end if they don't have it, then it becomes appealing. It becomes an upgrade program or an add-on system that makes sense. So Remy did this art within your art. A few people, Eric Alexander, Tye Botting, myself are just 3 names. Rich Parsons, there's another, that trained it serious. Rocky Passwick trained it serious when he was training. All right. They tried to do modern Arnis as a standalone program. I think, and I don't even mind it as a hybrid program. I was talking to Lauren Theory, and he puts a little Muay Thai in there and open hand, because it's not that Remy didn't teach open hand combatives. He focused on the stick and the locks and controls because most people didn't have those elements. Did he want the art taught as a standalone program? Of course he did. But I think he was transitioning that way. He definitely was getting away from you can do that to you need to do it this way. But I
mean, I think Terrell, the other thing is right, since he moved here, right, and he was a force to be reckoned with, and was a personality that and committed person. He was on the road every weekend, every week, multiple places, sometimes in the same weekend for decades. So that's what it would take is have the main person be over here and live and then make all those connections and stuff. So
and that to me is a huge undertaking. And I mean, if you have a family and you have a full-time 8-hour-a-day job,
not going to happen, right?
It's just not going to happen. I mean, the reality of it is not going to happen.
Let's ask. So Renee just asked a question. Jensen, all seriousness, where can I find DOS videos and more info? So let me ask this, because I think I already know. Oh God, you know who showed up?
Johnny the Bot. There you go.
Johnny the Bot showed up. Oh my God, this guy is such a troublemaker. We love him. we want him on the show too. Him and Renee. We should have the 2 of them on. But Johnny, if you show up, you have to wear a robot. Like that one guy who's mixing with the little blingy thing on Instagram. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I can't tell you. But anyways, I don't know of any. I know of only one commercial DVD of GM Rodell, and that was done by Dieter through Abanico Productions. I said the best thing is to look them up on YouTube. Unless, Terrell, do you have any other video resources that we should know about and promote?
No.
Okay. Do you know if Grandmaster is in the? Do you know if GM is in the process of filming anything?
No, I don't.
See, that would be really good. That would be a way to help get the art going. I
wholeheartedly agree. I think what Bobby Tabota has done in regards to him putting his curriculum on DVD has helped with his system and with the world camps he does. But yeah, I would love to see it, see the system put on some DVDs. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. It would be a hair-raising experience to have us both. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then Johnny the Bot. I show them the door at 9:30 and 8:45. Okay, guide them to it. Okay, good. Okay, and what else got here? So,
there you go.
Arnis Guru. Okay, there you go. There you go.
And he's got a lot of YouTube.
Oh, he's got a lot of YouTube. I mean, if you want to get
yeah.
a vibe, YouTube is the best place to get him. And he's so charismatic.
Yeah.
He's similar but different than Remy. Remy was that bull, and he's more like Speedy Gonzalez. So let me. Okay, I listen. Okay, Aaron, it's not what I meant. I'm gonna clarify your comment here. So it's good that he shared some information too. So let's go through this. So Jeff Ramsey teaches Das. He has other people teach jiu-jitsu. He taught them. Okay. He teaches me what I now know is illegitimate, which we'll talk about that modern age. He teaches them all separately. Okay, listen. I want to make sure you understand. I don't blame Jeff for calling it modern because that's what he was taught at. But if it's going to teach modern, in my opinion, he needs to get with someone who's legitimately doing modern, because I don't think Junior has properly. Okay, here we go. There's this Asian thing, and in the Filipinos, they're still doing it, where you feel that you have ownership because it was your father's. It's your family art. It's not your family art. It's your teacher's art. And if your teacher happened to be dad, that's one thing. Terrell, do you have a YouTube channel?
Actually, yes, I do.
Okay, we'll get that up there when we.
Okay.
So, but here's what I'm going to point out, and here we go. As much as I dislike, and that's being nice, that Dan Anderson included Remy's will in his book. No, let's rephrase that. I thought, as disrespectful as I thought putting the will in its entirety, the martial arts section of the will had been out there for a while. Mm-hmm. If you look at the will, the children were supposed to inherit the financial aspect of the estate.
Correct.
He willed the system to his students, not his family. And only 2 were Pinoy living in the Philippines. Only 4 were Pinoys in general. The majority of the people were non-Asians. 2 in Germany, the rest in the States. So Riddell, not Riddell. Roland Dantes, and Shashir Nakalo. Okay, those were the 2 Filipinos living there. In the States, it was, I think, Roland Rivera and David Nung, but they were much further down in the pecking order. They were only like 1st or 2nd degrees at the time of Remy's passing. So they weren't at the top 2. They weren't, Remy liked including a lot of people.
Yeah, there's 47, 27?
27. Well, 30, but 3 are no longer with us, or something like that. 3 are no longer with us. Roland Dantes. No one knows where Randy Shea is.
Hoffman. And
David Hoffman. So it was not a Pinoy club. Remy willed the system when he was of sound body and mind. And this will he'd been working on over a decade with 3 different attorneys. Because it was David Pajak, who was a classmate, ended up being a student of mine. I finished off his black belt grading. Brett Salapia was the second one, who is an assistant DA, and helped Remy a lot with stuff. And then it finished up with Kevin Black, and more or less the will was fairly similar through all when it came to the students. Okay, it was not willed to the kids. So if Remy Jr. wanted to use the name of their father's name or the family, they should have came to us to teach them the art. because the Filipinos didn't know the art, because Remy had been gone for a quarter of a century.
Right.
Right. You
Evolving the whole time.
So you did the Sanukajru, right?
Correct.
Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. I got one right. All right. So that was Moses Powell?
Yes.
Okay.
Moses Powell.
Okay. Moses Powell goes to Venezuela, teaches there for 20 years. Then he leaves and comes back 25 years later. Would you think what they're doing down there would be matching his expression 25 years later?
No. Absolutely not.
Does it mean they're bad martial artists?
No. No.
But it doesn't mean it represents his brand.
I would say yes.
From an era.
From that era. Right.
But not the current brand.
No.
Okay. So this is what I mean about, I don't want to say illegitimate. I think Remy Jr. didn't have the right to use modern Arnis because he wasn't learning modern Arnis.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen the stuff that they've talked about and about how he's continued his training in X, Y, and Z. But X, Y, and Z are not modern Arnis. They're X, Y, and Z. Or if we're in Canada, Z. So I don't want to take a shot. And listen, Aaron, when we talk about this, I want you to understand something. I'm not saying the material's bad because I don't know the quality of the material. Because, Jeff's a decent instructor. Let's go there. And I think he's good enough that if he was getting something that may have been substandard, that he could tweak enough to make it better. Because I think he's got a decent work ethic when it comes to his personal training. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's a person to spread an art, but I think he's a competent martial artist. Does anyone object to that comments there right there? Okay.
Not at all.
I don't think. I think personally, Jeff should either get hooked up with someone who knows what they're talking about with Remy's art and do the time, or stop using modern Arnis, and because really all it is modified DOS.
Gotcha. Okay.
In my opinion. Okay, here we go.
Junior, yeah.
It is good to have some personal video compilation of DOS. Yep.
Oh, he does, yeah.
So while we're here, what is your YouTube channel?
It's DOS-MD.
That's Maryland.
Wait, Dosh, and that's your YouTube channel.
You mentioned that Jeff is what? Is he the U.S. representative, U.S. director? What is he for DOS?
The U.S. representative.
Representative. And you're a Maryland representative of that?
Yes.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I thought you mentioned that earlier, so I just wanted to clarify people. So people could go to either one of you two to find more information.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Cool.
Are there any other? Okay, now, so there's a couple other chapters forming, but you're the top guy in Maryland, right?
To my knowledge, I'm the only guy in Maryland that's a guru. Let me make that clear.
Okay, and this is what we want to talk about.
Yeah, because I don't want anybody to say, well, there are other people teaching DOS. Absolutely it is. So I want to make it clear.
Okay.
I am the only guru in DOS that's teaching in Maryland. Okay, let's make that perfectly clear.
So someday I want to be a competent martial artist. Well, Chris, maybe you should work with my girl Shia. First time Chris saw Shia, like, I want to be like that when I grow up. Well, that was an 8-year-old girl, and Chris is my age. But anyways.
So just pull that thread on the people that are teaching. So a lot of times, some people can't teach in some arts unless they're a guru. And other arts, you can be a training group leader. You can be other things. So if you've got other groups that are teaching, DOS programs as well that may or may not be gurus, how does that work in DOS? Or do you know?
I would personally tell you that would be a question that you should address to the USA rep. There is a training group out there in Thurmont, Maryland, and so that's a question more for Professor Jeff.
Okay, well, and I was just curious because I know so many other styles of training group leaders. I know one who's been one for 10 years who's an amazing martial artist, so it's not saying anything against it. I'm just curious how the structure is.
I mean, that was the same thing that happened with Bobby. It was a group of us that got into Dagooc, and we was a group, and till we all end up going up and getting our level 6. So yeah.
What was the other gentleman's name that
Les
I used to
Penn.
go? Huh?
Les Penn.
Ah, that's it. Yeah, yes.
Mhm.
I used to see him in the building next to me. Anyways, how's he doing, by the way?
He's
Sorry,
retired, he's retired and playing a lot of golf.
Excellent. Well, tell him hi if you see him sometime.
Okay, will do.
All right.
Okay, so Chris says Shy is too scary. Paulo says hello. Hey, Paulo, I'm going to be up on the 19th, Friday the 19th. I have my yearly checkup before I go with my doctor. Then I'm shooting up to Toronto for the Taste of Manila, so I'll be up a day early. So, but it probably wouldn't be till 3-4 o'clock ish because I know we talked about hanging out a little.
You have to get your anti-Canadian shots before you go.
Yeah, I got my anti-Canadian shots, but they'll still let Paulo through. I don't know what's up with that. They're out of order here. Hey, Ty, in some Kali systems, you can become a Tuhan in a few hours as long as you have whatever that S symbol is.
Right.
And then, okay, this is a good one. Here we go. Ready?
Okay.
Das needs a traveling ambassador. We're going to talk about that. Yes, we will hang. Carl says, very funny guys. And then we go, I attended some DOS seminars in Thurmont. I thought it was very good, my humble opinion. Okay.
Excellent.
That's good.
Do we know Jerry? I don't know if I've met you, Jerry. Sorry.
Jerry looks good. There you go. So
that's good.
Let's talk about this. So Bernard seems to think DOS needs a traveling ambassador. Now, I know you've been doing a lot of traveling, but let's take that off the table because you're in this conversation, and I don't want this to seem too self-serving or, so here's the way I look at it. Okay. If you and Jeff stop teaching tomorrow, the art's going to die in the States. Now, it could be good for Grandmaster Rodell because it could, having U.S. representatives because it could help legitimize him more in the Philippines and give more of a
international.
More of that international thing gives him a little more stroke in the Philippines, and it could lead to help some things. So having multiple representatives around the world is cool. But if we're talking about U.S. development, personally, I don't think it has what it needs right now. I think you need a bunch of help. You need boots on the ground. I'm not saying, well, Tim Hartman can help you. What I'm saying is that if it's just the two of you guys addressing it seriously, we'll say let's put it this way. Let's go this here because this is a big. I think I know the answer already.
Okay.
If Jeff was on the show, how many training groups do you think he'd say there are in the States?
How many training groups?
Training groups of DOS in the States.
He would.
No, I know. Not what you think. What he says.
Training group.
Yeah.
One. The training group is in Thurmont.
Well, no, I'm talking schools as well. I'm talking about the whole
training programs.
Oh, would that probably be just?
He's got a facility in near Harrisburg, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got your place.
Mm-hmm.
You got Thurmont. There's Maryland. Right. He's got a guy in Florida.
Yeah.
And we'll no. Okay. Now here we go. Of these groups, besides yours, let's take yours out of the mix.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take these three groups. How many of these groups have more than 10 people?
Now, when those three groups.
Hold on. Okay, we got. You got U.S. headquarters. You got Thurmont. You got Florida.
Kill that.
And you're out. You're not in the mix. Okay.
Right.
I'm talking about what they're going to say, what the U.S. representative's going to say.
But I don't know of anybody. I don't know if they're teaching. Okay, go ahead.
There's a representative down in Florida, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's all. That's all I'm saying. That's
his position and title is called the Southeast Regional Director.
Fine. You got someone down in Florida who's a director.
Right.
Okay, so here's the question.
Okay.
How many of these groups have at least 10 DAS students?
I would say Jeff.
How many of these groups have at least 15? Okay, so we're here, right? How many students, how many groups in this number has at least 15 students?
I don't know.
You don't think he has 15 students?
I don't know if he has 15 or not, but I can
Okay.
say he definitely has 10.
Okay, but he probably doesn't have 20?
I don't think so.
Okay. And let me ask Aaron. Aaron, you study at Jeff's place? So if you do, does he have how many students do you think of DAS that are in the facility? You know, that train it, whether it's a primary art, a secondary art, or tertiary art, it doesn't matter. How many people do you think are training DAS at that place? How many students do you have training DAS?
How many do I have?
Yeah.
I currently have 7 registered. And let me say that again. I love that word, registered
Okay.
students of DAS.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
okay, how many unregistered students of DAS do you have training with you?
None.
Okay, so you have 7 students, all of which are fully not Microsoft DOS. Well, we could talk about it. I was talking about Lotus earlier. You weren't here. You missed that whole conversation. So I would, okay, so if we did an average, it sounds like if we average all the places, whether they have 10 people, 3 people, 7 people, maybe 0 people, you probably have maybe 40 people doing the art in the whole United States.
Absolutely. I would definitely go with you on that.
Okay, so it's not really going anywhere in the States.
Correct.
Okay, so I do not trace DAS as a student. The morning class ranged from 6 to 11.
So if that's attendees, it probably has more total. But yeah, okay.
Okay. All right, 6 to
So
7.
I was pretty close when I said 10, right?
Okay. All right. So, is there a reason why you don't study the DOS system? Or is that because of a scheduling issue? Just out of curiosity. I'd be curious to find out how many people are doing the Modern Arnis program there as well. But so we're still saying there's under 50 people doing the art in the whole country of the United States.
Right.
Which, unless you get a huge amount of people on board, it's really going to amount to absolutely nothing here, because you're not going to have a gene pool, and that's the problem I say with the States, with modern. What does that have to do with anything? Follow. Okay, Jerry. I don't know how well you know Facebook, but a follower on Facebook, that could be someone's grandmother. I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but let me see. How do I put this eloquently? That don't mean shit.
They are 680 something.
Oh, here we go. My primary art is jujitsu. Arnis supplements my art jujitsu. Okay.
Yeah, Aaron, I think, is ahead of a program.
Yeah.
His program.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Hey, how many people are doing jujitsu there, by the way? Just out of curiosity. So, Renee, it kind of sounds like Krebby. There are a dozen people teaching / training for 20 years until recently. And then Michael Smith. Half of your followers on social media are bots, homie.
Just in general. Yep.
Hey, I pay for all my followers. I'm going to say it before someone else does. Not that that's the case.
Somebody just popped up and said Facebook followers don't count. Well, technically
they don't.
Count.
Facebook. I'm glad. Okay, here we go.
Not as students, but they do. They do count somehow.
John Rapchi. Okay, so Ron has 9 students. Das and Thermont taught standalone by John Lowe. Our Rhythms Room program is taught by me. Again, a standalone program. I do blend our niece into it. That's cool. My point. Okay, listen. And when I'm saying this, my point is not to trash talk Das. I love Riddell. Riddell's a good friend of mine. It's a derivative program of Modern Arnis, as in it's an offshoot. It's not a knockoff. It's not. I'm not saying this in any negative way. What I'm making a point is that if you want the art to have a future beyond this generation, you need to start developing the generations. So you need a big gene pool. So, you know, so Aaron, if is the jiu-jitsu the biggest number in the Arnis conglomerate? I mean, the martial art conglomerate out of Jeff's facility, the facility that Jeff teaches out of, because I don't think he has his own facility. Isn't he teaching out of a gymnastics center or something? Terrell, do you know about that or not?
Yeah, he actually is.
Okay, so there's not even a dedicated academy.
No.
Okay, so once again, Parker's Kempo blew up after Mr. Parker passed away because there was a shitload of Parker or American Kempo school, actually, Kempo karate schools. There was never a question. Modernese, not so much, because I was the only full-time academy when Remy passed. You know, he runs his own program.
I think he's saying Professor Jeff runs his own program.
Okay, here's the thing. Jeff runs his program of jiu-jitsu, and Aaron has his own school and runs his program.
Okay. That's something I didn't know. Okay, I'll be right back. I got to do my thing.
Yeah, I don't think Tim knows Aaron.
Yeah, that's why I had to let it be known. Well, Aaron has his own separate program, and Jeff has his separate. They both do jiu-jitsu, but it's their own separate programs. And Aaron has his school, Jeff has his spot. So yeah.
And Aaron is not, I believe, Sanukis, right? It's
no.
Right, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, I've talked to him at the event, right?
Yeah.
Which we'll be doing soon again too. Let's see.
I will tell you this. Going back to far as the growth of DOS. DOS can only grow if it's someone put out there about an ambassador or traveling ambassador. If there is no such animal, I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you here. DOS can only grow if we have the leadership to go out in this big country we call USA to introduce it. DOS in America is about this damn big. When you look at all the modern Arnis and Punong Guro Tye and Pigita Terja, you know, what have you. But the thing is, can it grow? Yes. You have to plant seeds. And if the seeds aren't planted, it doesn't grow. It's just that simple.
Well, I mean, so the other thing that people may not realize is until just a few, we'll say years ago, maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I'm not sure what the number is, DOS really wasn't really a thing here in the U.S. So I don't know that it's exactly fair to say, hey, DOS is not doing anything to grow because it's starting out in some sense.
Well, it is starting out.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not growing. What I'm saying is, in order for it to continue to grow, it has got to be seeds planted throughout.
Sure.
We can't listen, DOS can't just be, listen. Okay, guys. Okay, you know what, Tim? Damn it, Tim. It's Ty's fault. Ty got me, took my glasses off. Damn it. Let's be real here.
It's all Ty's fault. It's good. It's not mine.
Probably.
The reality of it is, Ty, DOS cannot just be Pennsylvania and Maryland.
Right.
In order for it to grow, you're going to have somebody, which is not my job. My job is doing what I'm doing now in Maryland.
Mm.
But someone has got to take the lead and go about planting seeds in this big ass place we call USA. This is a hell of an undertaking, as I've said it, always said it before.
Mm.
This is not an easy task for anybody to say, I'm going to make it spread. It's damn near impossible if you have an 8-hour-a-day job and you have a family. It's impossible.
Well, so
But it's not that it can't be done.
Right.
Now, I'm going in September to Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to introduce DOS there.
Good.
Sometimes we just have to go out there and just say, here it is. Let me give you a free damn seminar. People love that favorite word called free.
Well, they do and they don't. They do and they don't. I was going to say they do and they don't.
Yeah,
So
true.
The other part of it is usually if it's free, then it's harder for them to commit.
Right. But when you say free, some people say, "Oh, I will come to a seminar."
I'll check it out.
Because it doesn't hurt.
Yep.
To sit back there and say, "Let me see what it looks like. Let me see what this DOS is about."
Yep.
You go out there and you give them the best damn DOS show you can give them, and you give them all the flash, and now you got the worm on the hook, and they bite, hook, line, and sinker. Now you got them. So yes, it can grow, but you got to plant the seed. And DOS cannot be this big. Listen, we can't call ourselves a Macy and we're damn 5 and down Woolworth. DOS is only, and let's keep it real, DOS is only in Maryland and Pennsylvania. It may grow. I don't know. That's not my job. My job is to make it grow in Maryland, and that's what I'm doing.
All right. So, why are we talking about this? Why am I talking about this? Why am I bringing this up? Why am I busting chops a little as well? Because this is the problem in all of FMA. Okay, this is not a DOS problem. This is not a modern problem. It's not a Combatant problem. It's not a Balintawak problem. It's not a fill in the blank problem. It's an FMA problem. And the first thing I say is we got to get the F out, because the problem is we handicap ourselves because, we're Filipino martial arts. We can't have nice things. This is what this show is all about. Hey, Bambadulai, how you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
Kumusta?
And then we got plant the seed or get the DOS boot.
I like that.
Michael says, let me know when you hit alt. I can get your name out down here.
Good.
Perfect. I'll be there September the 3rd, my friend.
I'm not sure exactly if that is a Braces came outside our side. I don't know.
Yeah, he came out and spread it. I think that's the point there.
Okay.
Which I think is
I'm going to be real. Want to know whose job it is to spread the art? The figurehead. Okay. When he could be here, unfortunately. Well, listen. Personally, I am against a lot of these systems trying to plant seeds in the States when they don't have their own shit together. I don't like. I'm not saying, and I love Riddell. I love Riddell a lot, but especially nowadays, it's a little thing called visas, and they're harder to get than they used to be. Matter of fact, I don't think Riddell's ever going to be over here again. He had an opportunity to come over. That would have helped extend his visa, if I'm not mistaken. But since that opportunity disappeared, it pretty much said that he will no longer be here, most likely. So if you never saw GM Rodell, you need to go to the Philippines to see him. Now, I've always been an advocate of saying you never have to go to the Philippines to learn Filipino martial arts. You might have to go there to learn a specific system or to work with specific people, but there's no need to go anywhere with all the people that are here already. Why was Modern East so big in the United States? Because Remy Praces lived here. Why? And that's why Combatan was not the same volume, because Ernesto didn't live here. He was doing a decent job, but he couldn't come over here regularly. He had a visa problem. He was not going to be able to come back in again. He had easy access to Europe, which is why Europe was so big. He also had the DAV help him out with that and other people from there. Das has to come out of the mountains. Okay. The problem here is you're not going to... Ty and Tim, so glad to meet you again. Okay, great. Yeah. My audio lost. Okay, all right. All right, he's just killing me here. He's just killing me. I know I missed a few things here. I'm just trying to see which ones I missed. So what are the great encounters in instructor development? Reach out to some mentors. The answer is keeping things growing. Okay, all right. Let me.
And there's Aaron has another comment too.
Yeah, I'm looking for that. I missed it. Okay, Walmart started with a store. Expansion takes time.
But then it got out there. But yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. We're kind of in a growth stage. If it's going to grow, and you're starting out.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but let's get real. You got less than 50 people in the country. How big is it going to get? The man himself cannot come over anymore, and he is the ambassador. I go, listen, Terrell and Jeff, very good martial artists, but they are not the personality of Das. They're not Riddell Dagooc. Just like you can see a lot. Okay, let's flip it around. Bullentwalk's growing right now in the States because of Bobby Tabata and Canada and Europe. What's going to happen when he stops teaching? It's a personality-driven thing. Mm-hmm. Look what happened to Modern Arnis. It was personality. Modern Arnis wasn't Modern Arnis. It was goddamn Remy Praces. Okay? I am successful because I'm goddamn Tim Hartman. Okay? But you look at the names that were in there. There's 30 names. Mm-hmm. Who's doing what I'm doing right now? Because it wasn't, I will knight you, you will take over, and you're the chosen one. That's bullshit. You got to do your work. This is what this show is about. Das has the same goddamn problem as Modern as all the other systems. Mm-hmm. Okay? Combatan was fated to be not so large. Asshole. Combatan was fated... Combatan had a moment. And then John blew his papers because John was here working on things going on here. Yep. Goddamn Tim Hartman. Okay, got it. Okay. So if John could have gotten this shit worked out, he would have stayed over here. Ernesto would have been over, and then there would have been a whole nother story. Mm-hmm. You can't do this. Okay. You cannot run something in this States when you don't live here. You got to be on the ground, boots on the ground. Okay? You look at all the other arts of Filipino martial arts that didn't have a world-class representative in this country, and they're fated for mediocrity at best. At best. I'm sorry, when you're telling me, and don't take this wrong, anybody out there whose system has less than 50 people in the country, in the States here, don't even bother talking to me. You got nothing to talk. Now, you might have good material and you can share, and I'd love to see what you got out there, but don't talk about some organization. That's all bullshit. You gotta get help. Now, if Das wants to grow like every other system out there, then you need to check your shit at the door, all the ego and all the nonsense, and work together as a group, whether you like each other or not, and get out there, travel, and do all this other stuff. I don't see, okay, it's not your job to go around, Terrell, and it is. Every student is an ambassador of the Grandmaster. So
agreed.
Here's the problem with, and this is one of the things that we have to understand. every person, every head instructor, every black belt in a system is an ambassador of that system. And once you've taken on that responsibility, you have to understand you're being held at a completely different level of accountability, which means if you show up places in a drunken stupor, don't be surprised if someone ranks or takes your rank away or chooses not to acknowledge you. I was like, well, you can't take my knowledge away. Well, first of all, no, but you can forget it as all hell too. I don't have to acknowledge you. Say, yeah, if someone sat there and said, well, was so-and-so a black belt with you? Sure, they were. But unfortunately, their actions, they're no longer an active member. And if they get their stuff together, maybe we'll let them back in. Buy your Excalibur. So if I buy your Excalibur sword, I can sit the king. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Taekwondo. At one point, General Choi, it took time, good marketing, and okay, yeah, but Taekwondo is backed by the Korean government also.
Exactly. I was going to say that, Tim.
That does help.
It not only is it backed by
General
the Korean
Choi.
government, not only is it backed by the Korean government, it became their national sports, and that was it. So yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the sad thing. We already know that Kali is not a word from the Filipino language. We already know this. We know that Arnis is the national sport.
Mm-hmm.
But for marketability, a bunch of people chose to change their last name from something Arnis to Kali. And I think at one time, even Paquita Tertia used to be called Paquita Tertia Arnis, not Kali, but it was a marketing thing. I could be wrong on that one, but, I could. And everybody over there has to have their own goddamn name. They can't come united. Because if you know anything about Korean martial arts, which I know you do, there are multiple forms. There are multiple kwans over there, but they decided to get one thing right. Let's all go underneath the banner. Look at Paquita Tertia. They got it right. Dulce Pares, they got it right because there's offshoots and splits. And what do? They still keep the goddamn name. It may be Kakoy Kenyete Dulce Pares. It may be Paquita Tertia, Leo Gaia's organization, Bill McGrath, Jared Wahungi, Tim Wade. There's 4 right there. They're united under PTK. They don't have to be united together. They can all be their own entity, but they didn't. None of them turned their back on it. None of them changed their damn name. I changed my name to Praesis Arnis because I wasn't going to teach Ernesto's system blended with Remy's and not give him credit. I wasn't going to teach Remy's system underneath the Combatant banner and not give him credit. We go Praesis Arnis like Parker's students. Ed Parker did Kempo Karate and his students called it Parker's Kempo. So my rebranding made sense because it's Praesis Family Arnis, because the Praesis name has more power, in my opinion, than modern Arnis, because a lot of us Westerners hate American words at the beginning of their damn let's do combat jujitsu or combat hapkido or combat Arnis. Bullshit. I want a foreign name on my foreign martial art. Maybe I'm an asshole. Brazilian jiu-jitsu, bullshit. It's jiu-jitsu. Stop with it. You want to say it's the Brazilian flair, or do an American Arnis. Because we have our own methodology of teaching. We already know that there's American, German, French, all the other different Arnis out there because it's how we do our thing. But at the end of the day, it's still Arnis. And, okay, I'm sorry. I got to calm down.
I was going to start American Freestyle Arnis.
Well, someone did it with karate, so why not?
Yeah, there you go.
You're gonna become the grandmaster of that overnight and get some text message from beyond.
And there'll be lots of flags and stuff too. Yeah.
Or a fax message that you were authorized to do that from somebody.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just waiting for us to get goddamn Terrell out there, and then that'll help spread it.
So, okay, so
it's not GM anymore; it's GD Terrell.
Hey,
I love it. I love it.
So I'm gonna throw a bunch of free advice out to people because that's what I do.
Okay.
Bambit says unite. Right. Michael Smith, FMA might be called fractured martial arts. Yeah. And we're the only group that actually refers to ourselves by the F. You don't hear Korean martial arts go KMA. You don't hear Japanese go JMA. We're the only ones that.
We do hear it in TCMA, traditional Chinese martial arts.
Okay, I've never heard of that before. You know,
Yeah,
to separate yourselves from the modern wushu.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I get that. I get that one. That one I get. Okay. Night and again, hooray for Spanish blood.
There you go.
All right, and then North Korea, Taekwondo. Okay.
So I'm going to take a second here, if you don't mind, since GM Bambit is on there. I don't know if he knew that. Well, I think he knows that Rose got Guro, and that she taught at a camp, and she did a great job teaching at the camp. So GM Bambit, your longtime older student Rose did great. So I thought you should know.
Cool. She did wonderful, and her daughter did well too.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, and then because no solidarian naming.
Right. If we were all Arnis or modern Arnis and all the different flavors or whatever, yeah.
Well, truth be told, at one time it was just Arnis. Right. It was just Arnis. It wasn't all this, I want to call it this. I'm going to call hell. Even listen. It was funny because a lot of the Filipinos didn't even know. They were saying, you have a foreigner come over and say, so are you teaching this style or this system? They're like, I'm just teaching Arnis.
Right. So
now they created this whole thing of styles and systems and crap. When I'm like, come on, man.
Or I've run into plenty of Filipino natives who didn't know they had a martial art.
Oh, well,
right. And there wasn't any ranking system.
Right. No,
Remy put that into the mix. There wasn't no ranking system.
You're teaching or you're learning, and you could do both.
Yeah.
Just like
yeah. Well, here's a good question. Okay, so here's my advice. Okay, get out there, start doing seminars. Well, here's another one. Have you guys ever had a camp?
No.
So there's no North American camp anywhere.
For ducks. No. That'd be good. If you're going to grow, that might be a good place to start.
Arnis, I don't think so. Thank you, Renee. Well, and then here's the other one. Once again, you know what? Now there's a subchapter in the or a subdivision in the FMA guys, because you'll have people say, "Well, we're Arnis guys, we're Eskrima guys, we're Kali guys." Well, first of all, there are no Kali guys. Shut the hell up. Kali doesn't exist in the Filipino language. Okay. If it was Guru Dan, as the rumors say, he got it wrong. Because Kali Illustrissimo, it was Arnis Illustrissimo. Until, from what I was told, some Grand Tuhan told them, change it to Kali, because it could be better. And then now, when they play, they call it, let's play Arnis, because it was Arnis Illustrissimo. But the thing here is, you've got, even in the FMA, there's that subdivision, because, we're Arnis guys, we're Eskrima guys, we're Kali guys. No, it's just the same damn thing.
Right.
Oh, but of course, the teachers who mostly train with Remy anyways, or a student of Remy's, said that this stuff is different because of this, that, and the other thing. Well, they're all full of shit, because a lot of them learned it in the school system. And who taught the school system? Remy. And here's the thing I heard recently. Well, it's recently been acknowledged in the school system. Recently? You mean like in the 70s when Remy was teaching it? Come on, stop it. All right, here we go.
Where you got professor from?
Okay. Cool, Tim. Keeper, continue. I have to go, Tim and Ty, for work. Okay, and then here we go. Boom. GM Richardson is one of the best event organizers in the U.S. Are you?
If he says so, I'm glad he says so. I'll send him the check.
I know you haven't organized the seminar for me, so I wouldn't know. All right, and then greetings from Portland. All right, brother. Eric. I haven't heard from Eric in a while. So, even if we're not going to have GM Rodell over here, it doesn't mean the U.S. team couldn't organize their own camp. Matter of fact, they should be. And these camps, you could prepare people to go overseas and prep them for stuff. I mean, I was the Can-Am director of the IMAF, the International Modern Race Federation. While Remy was alive, I was doing 20 seminars a year on my own, and no one was doing that back then. Not for Remy Praces Arnis. And my seminars were international. So while Remy was alive, I was teaching in Sweden, in Denmark, and other places. All right. I was going to places where Remy wasn't going. Now, Riddell's not coming to the States, so someone over here should be getting out there, and you're doing your thing, but you're not the U.S. director. So, I had a camp in Crystal Lake. You know what? God damn it. I fell for that. I fell for it. I got to... Johnny, I hate you, but you got to be on the show more often. I mean, and this is all free stuff out there. You know, you guys should be. I mean, we're doing modernist camps. There's other modernist groups that are doing camps. That's how it's going to get going. Doing seminars. I mean, you got to be out and about. I mean, how many seminars are being taught outside of the U.S. headquarters? I want to take yourself out of the mix. Okay, you don't count.
Okay.
How many seminars do you think are being taught a year outside the U.S. headquarters in the States? So nationwide, how many seminars are being taught?
Nationwide.
The seminars at the headquarters don't count. We're taking them off the table. How many traveling seminars are being done from people other than, I mean, you've done a bunch already. How many have you done this year?
3.
Okay, you've done 3 this year. So you were down
New Orleans,
Nolans,
North Carolina, and the event in Maryland.
And soon to be
Atlanta, Georgia.
Was the Maryland event the one that Ty did, or a different Maryland?
That was the event that Tuhan Jesse and Tuhan Sadiq had. Yeah, because I think they actually would ask me. They said, "Is Ty coming?" I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, so
when was this?
What was that?
When was it?
That was sometime last month. I think.
I wasn't tracking that one. Sorry, don't tell. I mean, I wasn't trying to snub anybody.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was at the Capitan.
Oh, yeah, that one I could not make. Yeah, yep.
Yeah. So I did 3, and I'll be doing one in Atlanta, Georgia, September 3rd.
So there'll be 4 this year. How many other seminars are being done nationwide out of the schools, not in the school? Because so my whole thing is I've talked about this in the past. You know, I do seminars. Okay, listen, I don't want to hear about your monthly seminars you do in your own school for your own students. That may be the only way you're doing your classes in the first place. The thing here, I mean, that's how I started. And don't get me wrong, but I do seminars in my school, and I get participants from around the country show up, as well as international attendees logging into virtual, because we do the hybrid program. So I have people drive 4, 6, 8 hours to physically attend. In addition, so those I don't mind, but if it's only for my in-house students, those seminars, when we talk about how many seminars you teach a year, I don't count my in-house students' seminars, because if that was, I would go from doing 30 plus seminars a year to maybe 50 plus seminars a year. So sometimes I do multiple seminars in a weekend in my own school, because I'm doing one for one group and another group and another group, but I don't count that. So that's why I'm very specific about going out and about. I'm not talking seminars you host yourself. You're going to teaching these places, which is great. So how many seminars? Okay, so I got some things here. Okay, let me see. So August 13th, DAS in the DC Center. August 20th, DAS in Central PA. Is that at his own school? Because if it is, I'd take that off the list. Presenting DAS. Oh, wait, no. Central PA would be... No, that's September. August, Ramsey presenting Central PA. Oh, that's probably the event that you're teaching at, Ty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we got that. All right.
Yeah, those sound like they're all... That's good. Good.
Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4 events. All right, that are outside the school. Okay, then you'll have 4. That's 8.
But that's good. So my point earlier is, I think that we're sort of in a early stages of things. So I don't want to ding anybody.
But how old is GM Riddell?
73.
Well, early stages of the U.S. growth. Put it that way.
That is what is upcoming. Yes. Okay.
Cool.
So you got 70. He's 73.
Yes.
So
Wow.
he's probably going to stop traveling sooner or later. Probably sooner than later.
Yeah.
So, and how many? Oh, you've seen him how many times in person?
Twice.
Okay. That's once here and once in the Philippines.
Correct.
Okay. All right. See, now if Talin moves over here, she would be the go-to person because Talin married the American, and she was always with Riddell for at least a decade.
Yeah, and she's Lacan 6.
So if she comes over, that could be a good shot in the arm. I mean, I'm not talking who would be administrative, who would run things from an administrative point of view, but man, that would be great to have her as a technical director.
Yeah.
Because, well, I mean, she'd be the most knowledgeable person.
Well, of course, yeah.
You know, now, yeah. So, so let me see. The things that would help. We need to have a video. Well, actually, no. You need to have a written curriculum. Is there a written curriculum?
I have a written curriculum. Yes.
Okay. You have a written curriculum.
Yes.
Okay. The way it sounded like that was kind of a half-loaded statement there. Okay. Is there a written curriculum for the organization as a whole? Because when it comes to Modern Arnis, Ty and I, we took the tests, deconstructed them. Actually, Eric and I, and then Ty probably put his own twist on things. Mm-hmm. We took the Remy test and deconstructed and made our own curriculum. Mm-hmm. So there was the black belt tests, but there wasn't a written curriculum belt for belt, although I came from a school that Remy was a silent partner in, and I had a written curriculum, but I don't know if that was solely made up by the primary instructor or if Remy had anything to do with it. I don't know. I don't know. I know Remy didn't really promote a unified written curriculum, and I actually talked to Remy. I was talking in negotiations with being the person to write the belted curriculum, but he passed away before that went down. So does GM Riddell have a belted curriculum?
I would say he does have that now. Yes, he does have that.
Okay. Okay, this is a hit job. This has nothing to do with promoting Modern Arnis. Oh. Promoting egos. Okay. Well, if you think that, Aaron, that everyone's allowed their opinion. So how developed is this curriculum? Is this to black belt? Is it to beyond black belt?
The way it stands now, I would say it's up to take you up to black belt, and then you'll be tested for that black belt rank by Grandmaster Rodell.
Okay, so this was a hard thing for Modern, and it helped with Remy being here. Does anyone have authority to promote to black belt besides Grandmaster Rodell?
Here in America?
Period. Is there a belt level that you attain that you can then, because Remy didn't have in Modern, at least stateside, when Remy moved here, he was the only one authorized to award people the black belt rank. So is that the same in DAS?
As it stands now, yes.
Okay. So currently the only way to get promoted in DAS to black belt or degrees that are above is to see GM Rodell.
Correct.
Another issue. Once again,
yes.
And these are the challenges that we, that we run into. This is why Modern Arnis has had Remy wanted that final seal of approval. I mean, Grandmaster Bobby does the same thing. You get to a certain belt level. You can FQIs can promote to a certain level, but
Hmm.
I think what is it 6 and 7 he does.
Yes, 6 and 7. Bobby does it.
Yeah. Now a lot of the FQIs choose to bring the people to Bobby themselves.
Right. Right.
But they do have the authority to promote to a certain level. And in modern, it was a hit or miss whether you could do. I mean, can you promote people to any belt level? I mean, I don't know. I'm going to rephrase that. Do you have some form of capability to promote to some designated belt level without dealing with having people see GM Rodell?
Brown belt, up to brown belt.
You can promote up there. Okay, so at least we got that going. So you got that in the States. You can keep people going. You can get up to a certain level, but now you got that big hump. If you can't get them to black belt, and as it stands right now, GM Rodell is not going to be coming back to the States anytime soon, or may not ever come back to the States.
Right, right.
So how do you see Modern Arnis grow, or not? How do you see getting Das to another generation when you guys stop teaching? What has to happen? Because right now you're handcuffed because you cannot promote people to black belt.
Correct. And if you can't take people to the end game, then people are going to say, well, why am I here?
Well, we knew that there was one group out there that there was two levels that were almost identical, and once you got to the other level, there wasn't a big incentive to going to the final level.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and there was a dropout rate, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a noticeable dropout rate. Would you say that's accurate?
I would absolutely agree with you 100%. Yes.
Okay. Don't want to go down that road because I'm not throwing stones. I'm just looking at when people talk, when we it's a game of attrition, people quit and you try to bring more people in that are going out the door.
Mm-hmm.
You try to keep people. I mean, when you get a new student, unfortunately, you're thinking about how you're replacing that new student because sooner or later, very few people will stick in that long.
Correct.
It'd be nice to think that all your students are going to stay in for life, but it doesn't happen. Jobs, school, relocation, significant other, all these different things you can go through to talk about why people stop doing martial arts, other activities, or they just have a bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, don't want to. Okay, what the hell? Why not? It's been a little serious here. I was recently promoted to the title of Nurse IB Martial Arts. Maybe next year I can win at Martial Arts Dr. Island. Okay. Johnny the Bot is so funny. Yes. There's no sarcasm there, Johnny. None whatsoever. So you can't promote the black belt. How do you see coming over that?
It's going to have to be someone's going to have to go over there and get with Grandmaster, and he's going to have to elevate them.
Okay.
That's the only way it can be done. I mean, unless we do, something crazy like, I don't know, online promotion. That'd be really crazy, but it does happen. People do it. Shit.
Well, I can see possible. We're having our first. We're doing a black belt promotion for people that we've been around one way or another. It's a plain black belt, Lacan. We usually go to ISA, but Lacan is going to be designated for our virtual promotions. And the nice thing is, it's not much. The only thing you miss is the hands-on. But I mean, taking an online class is a lot different than watching a video.
Correct.
So, and when it comes for their ISAs afterwards, that's going to be done hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to say that that's a bad thing. It's not the norm, but let's go this way. What's the highest rank American that we know of right now? What's the highest belt? Don't need the name, just the highest belt.
In DOS?
Yeah.
Hell. I don't know what Guru Tom's rank is, but because that's Lynn's husband.
He might be like a third, if I'm not mistaken.
He may be. And
Is he teaching?
No.
Well, then it doesn't even matter.
Absolutely. Because once again, like I said, the only two gurus that's teaching at this time, and that's Professor Jeff Ramsey and myself.
Okay.
And we both are holding the same rank. So there you go.
Well, that makes things a little harder. Beats taking the stairs. Okay.
But I will say this, that the system that Grandmaster Rodell has developed, it is a very good system. And the reason why I got into it is because I found it to be complete. You know, some systems, they focus a heavy dose on sticks or heavy dose on blade with very little empty hand type, systems in it. So I don't know what it was like in the beginning, but I know what DOS has now. DOS has a lot of empty hands in it with a lot of boxing movements, and it even has some Wing Chun in it, because I laughed and he was doing some Wing Chun traps. And in our Song of Batamas, he actually uses one of the Wing Chun punch instead of here. So, I would say it's kind of like an eclectic system. And it covers the various ranges of combat from Largo, medium, quarto range. So it covers pretty much the whole gamut of fighting. And if you don't have a stick or blade, you have the ability to use your hands. He has some really good hand techniques with knees and elbows. So that was one of the things that I loved about DOS, because it's not so heavy, just stick, or blade. It says, I'm going to give you something empty hand as well. So that was one of the things that I loved about the DOS system. So yeah, I think it's a great system. And if it can be promoted properly in America, it'll be really something special.
Yeah, I definitely, like I said, I started going over in 07, and I over the years I've definitely seen. Well, I saw him here in the States doing a tour with the Price's Kids, and then I saw him over there, and he definitely over time has put a lot more effort into open hand combatives, or emphasis on open hand combatives, which I'm so happy to see, because I know especially where this art all started from. Remy has always done this as a standalone program, but taught as the art within your art, and it's good to see that Rodell's doing the same thing. It's not, it's only a stick and you can't use it, because really, if you're only doing a weapon-based art, you already start limiting your clientele from the get-go.
Absolutely.
So here's a good question. Does he run kids and teens programs? Now, I can answer part of that. I know at one time he did. That was when Arnis Village 1.0. But that was long before COVID. How about now?
Yes, he absolutely does. Yes.
Okay. And who's teaching those classes over there?
We all on Sundays when we have our class in Lanetta.
Okay.
You'll see like Guru G, you'll see Guru Lando. They're teaching the kids, which is pretty damn good actually. So yeah, they do a very good job with teaching the kids, and there is a future DOS students that's coming up in Lanetta. So yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it over there. Yes.
So, and in all fairness, so I got to throw this out there, because we've been talking about here in the States. So let me ask you a couple of things. Is there DOS in Canada that we know of?
Not that I know of, no, sir.
He's got someone in Hong Kong or China.
Hong Kong.
Okay, and I met him. I know the last time we were there, Ty and I met him along with the rest of the crew.
We had lunch with him.
Yep. So I here's a question: how many? And this is being fair here. How many locations of DAS are there in the Philippines?
1.
Okay.
Is that the Luneta, or are you talking about in the Batangas and Luneta?
Well, class is in Luneta.
Right. Okay. That's the one we always crash.
Right.
And they haven't kicked us out yet.
No, I don't know. Well, I mean, listen, and here, so I want to put the Philippines on a whole different story. There are not brick and mortar schools over there for Filipino martial arts. If there is one, it's the exception, not the norm.
Right.
I know Doce Par's headquarters has a brick and mortar location, but I do know that Nick Elazar, when he was teaching Balintawak, it was somebody's space that they were using. It wasn't. They had a place they could go to. It was a structure. It wasn't a building.
Right.
For
the airflow.
But it wasn't a school. It wasn't a martial art facility. Mm-hmm. It was a structure that they were using or subletting or whatever the case may be. So the Filipino martial arts schools in the Philippines are not what they are over here. Taekwondo schools over there are the same as over here. They actually have brick and mortar dedicated location.
Yeah.
But that is not the case when it comes to their own indigenous systems of martial arts. Another thing that gets me upset, because we should have academies around the world. Global academies. It shouldn't be one here, one there. It should be the norm, not the exception. So I'm very passionate about that. And I don't think people always get why, when I'm saying these things, what my point is. Like I said, we got to get the F out. We're martial artists. We got to stop handicapping ourselves. So if there's only one location so would you say there's only one location, or are you trying to say there's only one school? I mean, does he have multiple training locations besides Luneta and Arnis Village 2.0?
That would be it.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Now here's a hard question. This is a real hard question.
Okay.
What's the gene pool in the Philippines?
What's the gene pool?
Yeah, what's the gene pool? The numbers you're looking, how big is the gene pool over there?
The DOS class over in Luneta is pretty damn big.
Okay, so now that's a relative term. So, my school, I think, is small, and right now we're averaging our niece students, not my fitness kickboxers.
Okay,
we're averaging 72 to 80 students, and I think that's small because we're talking martial arts school. Because I don't look at myself as FMA. If I go by FMA standards, well, I am of the elite. I am not the norm. I am the exception. So what kind of numbers are we talking over there? When you say pretty damn big, are we talking pretty damn big compared to a backyard training group? Or are we talking pretty damn big because there's like 100, 200 people involved with this?
No. When I say big, I'm referring to what you would see in regards to a lot of the Filipino classes you see in the Philippines.
Okay.
So on a norm, you would see roughly maybe 50 to 70 people.
Okay. And I'd say 30 to 40 is what we've consistently saw when we would be over there. So I mean, I do know he has one of the bigger groups. I know there's a group You haven't been to Lynette at night, have you?
No.
Yeah. Which is Lynette at night is
A little special.
well, you know how they used to say the freaks come out at night. I can't remember the band, but I remember the song vivid.
I know the group.
I used to sing
Yeah.
for all the time.
There's some interesting classes at night.
But there's one group that there's got to be 100, 150 people there regularly.
Really?
True.
Regularly, everyone's geared up and everything. Oh no,
Yep.
I mean it was part of the documentary actually that we
Yep.
shot.
Wow. I didn't even know they was teaching classes at night in Lynette Park. Wow.
And
Okay.
Billy. So,
Billy knows.
where's all you? Yeah, Levi's 30. Okay, and then yeah, Billy's like,
Billy knows.
she gets my joke.
Yep.
Yeah. So okay, let's ask the hard question.
Mhm.
Lynette at Night was a show. Hey, Rich, what happens when Rodell stops teaching for whatever reason?
That's a good question, and I actually brought that up.
Okay.
When I did the documentary, I actually sat down and interviewed him for 35 minutes.
Okay.
And I didn't
Is this documentary on your YouTube channel?
I'm gonna put it on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
I initially did it just for myself, for my children and grandchildren down the road. But others have been like, you need to put that out there. So I'm like, okay,
That'd be nice. Yeah.
I sat down with him for 35 minutes, and I politely addressed that question. I said, Jim, with all due respect, and I don't mean to sound morbid, I said, but as you are getting up in age now, what happens when you pass away? What's going to happen to your system? And he said his children will take over the system. So I said, okay.
So those are his designated heirs, Seidel and
Yes. And Gretchen, yeah.
Kitchen, yeah. How do you pronounce his name again?
Gretchen.
Getchen. Okay.
Yes. And they're going to take over his system, and they already know this.
That's helpful. That's helpful.
Yeah, they already know it. And
Okay.
GM he's preparing them for this. So they know that upon their father's passing, the system is theirs. It won't be any bickering on who gets what. No, they already know. So
That's
yeah.
good. That's good. That's refreshing.
Yeah. But which in turn goes back to what Tim was speaking of earlier, when you said that Senior didn't give it to his children.
Right.
So technically they really weren't Martin Arnis. But in Grandmaster Rodell's case, it's already been clarified that yes, his children will take over the system. They already know it. He's preparing them for it.
Well, listen. Let's make a different point here.
Mm-hmm.
Remy's kids weren't training.
Right.
Rodell's kids are. So that whole
Yes.
thing of what you just said there is actually inaccurate, because there is,
Correct.
it's the family is very visible and involved with the system, the business, the whole 9 yards. It's not like we've never seen or heard from them, and all of a sudden they show up on the scene and they're trying to teach an art that they've never done.
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. And I mean, because I've actually touched sticks with GM's son.
Yep.
We've played and did some disarms. So yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
they're recognizably some of the most advanced, right?
Right.
Okay.
now the thing, the downside is that if we know how it is. Like when Remy died, people left because they were there for Remy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have the same kind of attrition with Riddell. Nothing wrong with his kids, but people weren't there for his kids; they were there for Riddell.
True.
Remy's students are decent students, but people weren't coming for Remy students. People were coming to be Remy students, not for his students. So, any system when the founder or the head instructor dies, you're going to lose people and stuff like that. So, the real thing, I mean, at least the good thing here is with his kids, there's no question now. Now, would you get some people leaving? Of course, you're going to get some people leaving. So some people are going to say, well, they know more than they do. Of course, they're going to do that, but there's no question that they have that they earned a seat at the table. And yes, Houdini, that's what it was. The freaks come on at night. So, all right. I'm just going to wrap things up here on my side with my question. And then Ty, if you have any others here, what would you, keeping it short. It's almost 11 o'clock, and I don't know how many people we still have 19 people watching. We've had 30 to 19, wow. 19 to 30 of the whole show here, so that's pretty good. What would you like to see stateside happen over the next 5 to 10 years?
I would love to see the black belts advance in rank so we can make this really grow. I would love to see the system being put out there. And I love that idea as a camp. I love that. And I think having a camp in different locations also enhances the notoriety of the system so that it can grow in that essence. So yeah, I like to see the black belts advance in rank. I would love to see a generalized, across the board curriculum that everybody follows. I shouldn't have a green belt in your school doing something different in my school. So there you have it.
I logistically I'm down with that. I'm 100% down with that. Let me see what here. My instructor's son died. Oh, stop it.
You got you again.
Not even going to read that. Not even. I'll let you guys read it, but I'm not going to read that. Bastard. All right. He's going to get me kicked off for saying all these things because of these stupid things he writes. Listen, Modern Arnis, in my opinion, was one of, if not the largest Filipino-based martial art organization in the world. Remy was a goodwill ambassador for literally a goodwill ambassador with diplomatic papers. He traveled the world. He's out there beating the streets, making things going on, pounding the pavement. And I'm waiting for Johnny on the bot to make a comment about pounding the pavement, but whatever. Because he's going to do that. A curriculum, to me, as much as I'd like to see a belted curriculum, my goal is a minimum standard that has room that you could put extras if you want.
Of course.
But it's an attainable standard. But really, at the end of the day, black belt is the great equalizer. I don't care how you get it. If the person's moving right, okay, whatever. I don't care. They're missing a piece of material here and there. No big deal. At the end of the day, by black belt, this is what you got to have. So, but they should be in the ballpark.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Should be in the ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, we when I say a standard curriculum, I'm talking about in regards like what you're saying. You see, if we're on two separate ends of the spectrum, now we got a problem.
Yes, we do.
You see, if Greenbelt says you need to know 8, 10 disarms, and at this school we only do 3 disarms, that's a issue there. So you have to have a minimum requirements for every school, and then if the instructor want to tweak and add a little extra, that's fine. Yeah. But you need to have a minimum across the board. Yes.
That I think that's one of the things that definitely would help in all systems, having that minimum standard and being in the ballpark. Actually, here's the big one: nomenclature, a language. Because the problem here is so Remy. Right after I got a black belt, I started looking at all other Filipino martial arts not to get away. Oh my God, man. Focus on the legs. Yeah, great. Okay. He's witty. Okay, Johnny, you gotta wear a robot mask. We'll have you and Renee on the show. He'll wear his bag. You wear the robot mask. It'll be all good. It'll be great.
That was good. That was good.
That was good. So, the problem here is I started doing extra stuff before Remy had it in. So Remy would do a Stonewall called High Redunda. It's really Heaven 6 in like if you like Inasano Kali or just FMA in general. And didn't you guys call that when we do Paral, which is a looping version of that, didn't the Texans call it the Cowboy?
Some of them did, yeah.
And I saw, so then there's Remy would, we know there's a lot of small circle in modern. So we would do, is this Nikio or Sankyo or Sankyo? So Remy called it standing center lock. Okay. So one group, and I get it 100%. They called it batters up because they're holding the arm two-handed.
Okay.
So I have designated slang for some of the like we do cross hand center. I call like with the kids, it's the motorcycle, but they know. I go and I'll sit there. What's the technique called? Okay. What's the nickname? It's the motorcycle. So even the adults know, because I'll say, hey, this is like doing a motorcycle, except it's the other way. You go back to go fast. So this will be your deceleration, So I'll take the standing Nikio, I think it is. I go here like this. I go, this is a squirt gun. Point the squirt gun at him. So, but it's a designated slang. They get the common term. This is transfer center lock. Okay, great. Why do we call it transfer? We switch from one hand to another. Got it. All right. What's the nickname? Squirt gun. Okay, because you're like pointing at. Okay, great. The problem is we have all these other things, and no one has the same name for the same damn technique.
Right.
Call a stick to the shin. Then they mess up. Okay, there we go. Okay, Ty, can you get that one? My glasses are all...
Sure. Andrew Siegel says, probably Siegel, ideal as it may seem, I don't think you can quite ever achieve that level of consistency among so many diverse schools, subsystems with contrasting vernacular practices and corresponding standards. Look at the Kenpo systems under GM Parker, East Coast Goju, all the way back to Robert Trias' system. It is tough the bigger it gets. But again, it's a starting point, right?
Yeah. Oh, very valuable.
GM brother. Hey.
So, yeah. So, Ty, what do you got? What do you got here?
I got one thing. So, it's a question that's going to put you on the spot, and it's not a mean question. What it is a question to try to help people. So you fell in love with DOS for a lot of reasons you described. It seemed to gel a lot of the things that you knew, has a flavor that ties it together in a way that you like. What would you how would you describe DOS in a way that they can recognize, somebody might recognize that this is a unique system that I want to be part of?
I would say that whatever system that you are already practicing, DOS has that, a little bit of that in there so you can relate to it, which means it's going to be easier for you to get involved into the system. If it's a system that's completely foreign, where you come from, say, a empty-handed system, and someone says, "Here's a stick," you like, I'm lost. But the fortunate part about DOS, it has the boxing, it has knees, it has kicks, it has elbow strikes. So those who are kickers, those who are boxers, they can relate to these same techniques. And that's why it's easier for them to adapt into DOS, because, as I said before, DOS is more of a complete system. I don't know what it was in the beginning, but it's more of a complete system. That's why it's easier for those to adapt to it, because it has pretty much everything you may look for in all the other systems that you study.
Is there I know that's one aspect of it. On the other side of it, is there anything that you would characterize as, once they'd see it, you'd go, "Oh, that's quintessential DOS"? It's hard to say that. I mean, if it covers lots of everything, but is there something that jumps out at you that people can identify with on that side of the things?
Believe it or not, for me,
Mm.
one of the things that I think that really stands out with Das, is Sangapatamas. When you see their Sangapatama, when you see this,
Mhm.
their Sangapatama is straight up, is very combative, is brutal. I love it, you know.
Okay, so
And
what? So for those who aren't used to that nomenclature, what is
Right,
it?
right.
the Sangapatama is just basically a list of techniques put together. So yeah, that's all it is. And so
Sequence.
you have all these different elbow attacks with the knees
Okay.
with it. So that's what the good part about it, that I love about it.
Like
So when
series.
it's a series it's
Okay.
a series of attacks, and the flow is so well put together that
Nice.
when you see it, you say, "Damn, that flows beautifully."
Okay.
And that's
Perfect.
the thing that was the thing that I really fell in love with. I'm like, wow, I love that flow because of the elbow, the knees. It was beautiful the way he put it together, and it flowed. So yeah, it's that to me is what I feel it will
Perfect.
stick out for anyone.
Okay. No, that's helpful. I think that'll help lots of people know what to look for or
Mhm.
ask about when they see it.
Cool. All right. You got anything coming up you want to promote while we're here?
Um, Other than the fact that I'll be in Atlanta, September 3rd, I'll be teaching a DAS seminar down there for Master Presley, down in Atlanta, Georgia. I'll be posting the location and time on my Maryland DAS Facebook page, as well as my personal page. And anybody want to reach out to me through Facebook Messenger, please feel free to contact me if you're down in the Atlanta area or Georgia area. So yeah.
He should look up PG Ryan if he's down there. I don't know.
Oh,
He's
Ryan
traveling.
Montolopoulos. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
If he's not busy doing movies,
Right.
I recently was asked to submit some headshots for a potential Marvel gig. So we're
Who are
waiting to find
you?
out. Yeah.
With your purple hair.
Photoshop, baby, Photoshop. Hey, listen, guys, this is just a filter. You know, it's not my hair.
Should be the next Thanos.
Listen. You know, purple skin, purple hair. It's all the same damn thing. All right, listen. So I want to thank you for being on the show. What we're going to
Thank you
do
for
is
having me, guys.
we're going to wrap this up, but stay on for a moment. We're going to just do the post-show debriefing as we always do. But thank you, and we're looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Always, my friends. Take care.
Okay. So he's off screen, but he can hear everything we talk about him. So
now we can really lay into him.
okay, here we go. Now it makes everyone feel. I got purple in the background as I make you all people. I'll feel better. So you're gonna see Bobby this weekend.
Yep.
I'm teaching up in. Let me see here. So upcoming events, because I wanted to promote that.
I got like next 3 weekends I'm doing something. So Bobby this weekend, and then I'm teaching at East Coast gathering thing, and then also the thing in Pennsylvania. So that's bam, bam, bam.
Yeah. So I'm at the Maine gathering, not this coming weekend, but the weekend of the 13th. I'm up in Maine. Toronto, the 20th and 21st at the Taste of Manila.
That's right.
And then we have the WMA Instructors Camp. And for those who attended the anniversary camp, there is a $75 discount in play for that. And Canadians, we are now doing a 10% discount on the camp, not in addition to, but separate. And Rich says, "Tell Bobby you say hello."
Will do, Rich.
That's about it. We got a lot of things we're going to be talking about in the future. We're working on things for the organization, including maybe a monthly or a quarterly or monthly virtual meeting, just to say hello to everybody and have them chime in if they have any questions or looking for help for different things here. The site is blowing up. We've got so many more schools on there now. We got more coming, and a lot of things that are good. But we've been on for almost 3 hours, so let's wrap this thing up.
Yep, we should do that. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
lots of good
as always,
content too.
Please stay safe and stay sane, and we look forward to seeing you in the near future.
Yep, take care.
All right, ciao.